In today's video, you're going to learn how to overcome the 5 fears that might be keeping you frustrated with your finances that you may not even be aware of. Before we jump into today's video, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and if we haven't met, my name is Jamil Frazier. I'm a business and wealth consultant, an accredited investor that invests in early stage businesses, real estate, and the stock market. I've built an 8-figure coaching business, and I've written 2 best-selling books. Let's dive into it. The number one fear that you might be suffering with right now that's really holding you back is just a fear of failing. Now, I've coached so many people, thousands of people over the last 10 years, and what they were dealing with might be what you're dealing with as well. And that's just a fear of getting started. Most of these folks are not bad people. It's not that they don't have goals. It's not that they don't want to do really big things out there in the world. It's not that they don't want to build wealth. The same is true for you. It's just that they are afraid of losing. What are some qualities and some traits that you might be suffering from right now that's keeping you from building the wealth that you want to? Let's look at them. Low self-esteem might be an area to right now. You're just doubting yourself and you're doubting your ability to succeed. You might be speaking to yourself worse right now than you would ever even think to consider to speak to a best friend of yours. Or how about perfectionism? Perfectionism is one that I remember when I started my journey. I wanted everything to be right, to be done right. I had to be perfect. If it wasn't perfect, then I didn't want to get involved with it. I had super high expectations for myself and for others to meet. And this is one that might be holding you back right now just from building the wealth that you really want. Next is societal pressure. You might be viewing failure as not something that is out there, but something that really represents who you are in here. You might take it as a negative that actually is correlated with your self-worth. And that's something that not only I struggle with, but thousands of people that I've coached as well, is if I fail at this, it's not that I failed at the thing, it's that I'm a failure. What about past negative experiences? This is what you're thinking. I've tried this before. It didn't work for me. It's not going to work for me again. I would say one of the biggest ones is just fear of expectations. So you might be afraid that you're just not going to measure up. You're not going to measure up to your own expectations. You're not going to measure up to the world's expectations. You're not going to measure up to your friends' expectations. It's just expectations that other people have on you. And I want to help you sort of unlock if you're dealing with any of those that we just went through, right? We talked about low self-esteem, perfectionism, societal pressures, past negative experiences, fear of expectations. If you're dealing with any of those, let me share with you the 2 phrases that really helped me explode in success. I mean, these 2 phrases helped me buy my first set of rental properties, helped me write my first book, which, if you know my academic background, I literally graduated from high school with a 2.2 GPA. I've never been academically gifted. My kids make fun of me right now because I still barely know how to spell. And so when I was ready, I knew I had on my heart. I knew that I had sort of the conviction and I was given authority to write a book on building personal finances because I went from literally having 0 in net worth to $1 million in only 5 years. But I did not believe in myself that I actually could write a book, right? So here's the phrase. There's actually 2 phrases I want to help you with today. Write these down. The first one is not fancy, it's not sexy, but it's effective. And this is what I call the F it factor. Write that down. I will tell you that this one phrase has literally changed my life. I've been afraid to do so many things, but I'll sit here, I'll sit at my desk, I'll be with my team, I'll be faced with a decision that I'm so afraid of, I don't want to do. I still have high expectations. I still have perfectionism. I'm still afraid of what other people think, all of those things. But the one thing that I'll say to myself is F it. Now, the second part that goes along with the F it factor is what I call let's see what happens. Write that down. So whenever you are in a situation and you're scared, you're terrified, you think that you can't do it. I mean, you're afraid of other people's expectations, societal pressures is really honing in on you. You got perfectionism that's there. You might even have a little bit of low self-esteem. Here are the phrases. And now you're faced with something, a decision that hopefully is going to have you have a breakthrough in your finances, which is going to require us to break up with some of these things like these different fears. All we say to ourselves is, F it. Let's see what happens. Say it. F it. Let's see what happens. Say it again. F it. Let's see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but you know what? F it. Let's see what happens. Let's just do it anyway. I'm going to do it afraid. I'm going to do it unsure. I'm going to do it with some hesitation. But guess what I am going to do? I'm still going to do it. Listen, I've left a six-figure job to start a business that there was no guarantee. I told you about the whole book writing situation. I look at myself and I'm like, bro, you wrote a book and now I've gotten to a point to where I've written three books, right? This effort, let's see what happens, even helped me save my marriage. Literally, it helped me not get divorced and run away from my fatherly duties because even though I was scared, I was unsure, I didn't feel like I could be the husband or the father that I wanted to be. But I use this phrase, F it, let's see what happens. So you got to be willing to take some risks. Let's jump into number two. Number two is fear of people not liking you or understanding you. Have you ever been there? Drop a I've been there, Jamil, in a comment. This is fear of rejection. And this might be one of the fears that's been holding you back from building extraordinary wealth. But it really shows up as this constant overthinking about how you're perceived, how you show up with other people. You really care about pleasing other people. You even hate the thought of criticism or not gaining approval from other people. Have you ever been there? Write this down. These people are not paying my bills. Are you catching my drift? These people are not paying your bills. Okay, these people aren't going to leave generational wealth for you or for your kids or for the people that you really love. Their opinions of you is not your business. Okay, it's just not. So I want you to love them, understand them, even thank them. But if they don't like you taking care of your financial future, then here's a question I have for you. Are they really your people? Are they really your people? Because the things that you're doing now are the things that's going to help you get to where you want to go. And if they don't understand that, then the question is, are they your people? Hey, I hope that you are enjoying the video. I want to invite you to our next Master Your Money Challenge. Now, this is a challenge that's going to take you from point A to Z when it comes to building wealth, scaling your businesses, where we are going to dive in through my three-step system that has taken me from pennies in the bank to millions invested across businesses, real estate, and the stock market. Now, it's a 4-day event, and on the first day, we're really going to dive into the mindset of mastering your money. And then we're going to show you how to build your money roadmap, and then we're going to show you how to start growing it, and then we're going to show you how to start investing it. Go on and click on a link that's right here in the show notes or that pops up on the video so that we can make sure that you can secure your spot, and we'll see you on the inside. Number three, what might be holding you back? What fear are you going to have to get rid of so you can become rich? Number three is fear of responsibility and ownership. What does that mean? You're going to have to get over blaming others for where you're at right now. So there's actually a term for this called hypengyophobia. Write that down. Hypengyophobia. That is our ability to not take responsibility and blame other people. But here's the deal. We all start where we start. We all have advantages and disadvantages. We all experience loss, disappointment, tragedy, bad things happening. But if you want to be rich, if you want to be wealth, then you got to take 100% ownership and responsibility for doing so. Write this down. If it is to be, it is now 100% up to me. And that was a hard pill for me to swallow. I didn't like that. I like to blame my wife. If she would just make more money, if she would invest in her company's 401k, if she didn't try to tie me down, I would have more money. I would like to blame my parents. You know, my mom, like a lot of single mamas that are taking care of kids, she did the absolute best that she could do, but we grew up on welfare. And so, you know, it's easy for me to blame my starting point. And it was a hard pill to swallow. If I want wealth, if I want to be rich, if I want to have my savings accounts and my investing accounts overflowing, which I had no idea what that was. But if I want those things, if it's to be, it's now 100% up to me. Number 4, fear of losing money. Now, what I want to say about this is there's nothing wrong with having this fear. It's actually a natural human tendency that's called loss aversion. But here's what you got to know. It's normal. It's just part of your biological design, and that is to keep you safe and to keep you comfortable. It's actually a survival instinct. If this is a fear that you have, just know that this is just a part of you, because 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 years ago, losing resources actually like literally meant death. I mean, forget 10,000 years ago, freaking 2,000 years ago, you lost some resources that could mean you were in big, big trouble. So this is just a normal cognitive bias that causes you to avoid losing over gaining. Now, here's the problem. And you know, that's why I'm here, because I got to be honest with you. The problem is, even though it's normal, that bias is going to keep you broke. And you say, why? Why? Because, and this is something that I learned the hard way. I wish I would have known this as a little boy, but money needs to move. Write that down. Money needs movement. So it is looking for movements and not just moments. Okay. Money is looking for movements and not just moments. If you just hold on to money, and if you just try to save money, or you just spend as much as you have, those are little tiny movements that money does not like. Money does not like moments. But if you invest your money, if you get money to start doubling, tripling, you really tie into compound interest. You have this money start working for you even when you sleep. If you read my book, The Richest Man in Direct Sales, which I have right here, then you'll know I'll talk about echo income all the time. If you do that, if you get this money to move, money likes that and it's attracted to it. So the only real way to get ahead, like big time ahead, is to break that old biological design by changing your mindset and by investing this money and getting it to diversify. Does this make sense? Number 5, fear of missing out and delayed gratification. This was probably my biggest fear. If you would have known me 10 years ago, 12 years ago, even 15 years ago, I love people. That's a big blessing and a curse for me. I love people. I love having fun. I love partying. I don't want to miss out. I have big time FOMO, and I'm a competitor. So if you get a freaking BMW, or you get a 2-story house, or you get a 6-figure job, man, I want it. I gotta have it. So this fear of missing out and delayed gratification was a fear that not only held me back, but it's probably holding you back right now too. Write this down. In order to be wealthy, you have to get good with waiting. Wealth and waiting both start with a W for a reason. In order to get wealthy, get really good with waiting. You got to be patient. And in order to be patient, then you need to build up these skills. One is emotional intelligence, and the other one is emotional management. I've been trained for over a decade by probably one of the most brilliant men in the United States. And one thing that he taught me a long time ago was the biggest problem that most humans are facing is something we call emotional mismanagement. We just don't know how to manage our emotions. So you got to become comfortable with delaying pleasures, okay? Giving up what looks good or even feels good right now for what looks good and feels greater later. So here's a question that I have for you, okay? Because it goes into where am I at in terms of my mental and cognitive ability to delay pleasures. So my question is, would you rather I give you $1 million right now, or would you rather I give you a penny that doubles every day for the next 30 days? Which one would you rather have? Now, most people are going to say, bro, Jabil, Just give me that million right now. And like some people are gonna be like, just give me whatever you can give me, right? But some of you guys are gonna be like, bro, give me the million. Here's the problem. If you would have just waited 30 days for that penny to double and then double and then double and then double and do that for 30 days, instead of just having the million, you would have something closer to $10.7 million just 30 days later. All it took was for you to delay what look good right now to get something that's great in the future. So those are the 5 fears that probably are holding you back from being rich or building the wealth that you really want. Hey, go on and drop in the comments the number one unlock that you got from this video. And if it brought you any value at all, go on and subscribe, share, and like the channel. And we'll see you on the next video.